This is Sandy with Stitch with Sandy, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year. Today is January 8th, 2024. Have you had to write that number yet? I did once, and I already made a mistake, but we'll get used to it. Here's to a new year. I wanted to share with you my WIP parade, and then later on this week I'll do a regular floss tube. So today I'm just going to show you my WIPs. I have, I think, a total of 29 WIPs that I'm starting 2024 with, which is great. It's down from last year. Last year I had 34 coming into the new year, and so I had 105 finishes for the year 2023. And most of these WIPs were started in 2023. I finally finished one of my oldest WIPs, and so the rest of them are from 2022 and 2023. So let's get down with it, because this is all I'm showing you, and I know that WIP parades can take a long time. So I'm just going to jump right in. So one of my projects that I've been working on, this one is from the Prairie Schooler, February. So this is what the chart, I'm doing the big chart right here. And here's my progress. And so I'm almost done. I just need to finish the log cabin, and there's a little bit of clouds up here and some smoke from the chimneys, and then the rest are all the words. So I should be able to get this done pretty soon this year. I'm expecting to finish it. Are you trying to get your WIPs down this year? Or are you on a no spend this year? I am not on a no spend this year. But I do want to get some of these WIPs done, because when you flip through them, you realize how much you love them, and you wonder, why haven't I been working on them? So that's what I've been up to. The next one is Calendar Creates February. I have to admit that this last year, I didn't work on this, not even once. And so I'm kind of trying to regroup what I'm doing. Are you doing that? Regroup and make a new plan for this year. In my regular floss tube, I'll tell you what I decided to do. But here's my progress on this one. As I said, I didn't really work on this in 2023, which kind of was disappointing, because I did finish the small. I even FFO'd it. So I just need to finish the top, and hopefully I'll get some work on it this month so I can actually display it next month. That's why those two are at the top of my piles. Also wanted to show you, I picked up these cute little tabs. I know everybody has different tabs for theirs, but these are those little luggage tags, and you pop it out and you can fill in exactly what the project is on the little paper. And then I had my husband hook them all to my zippers so that I have them ready to go. That makes finding my project a lot easier when you're working with fabric bags. And then my next project is a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads series, and this one's called Ravens. And so it's like full coverage on this one, lots of beading. And here's my progress. And I can say, I'm trying to move my needle out of the way. The ravens are finished except for the beading, and I started on the background. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of, I'll get a little bit of work on that this year, maybe even finish it. We'll see. And then next up is, this one is 3 Crows by the Good Housewife. And let me show you the original pattern. Here it is. This was a gift from my stitching friends for my 50th birthday. And I worked on it a little bit last month. I was trying to get my WIPs down in 2023, see how many I could get down. And so I actually had more progress on this one. So here's where I'm at. So I've got one of the crows done. I started the alphabets around him. Next time I take it, I'll get another crow done and the alphabets around him, and keep going until I have all 3 of them finished. It's a lot smaller than I expected. I don't think it's going to be very big at all. just looked big, I think, but I really do like it. And then I have, this one is an autumn sampler. Now this one is kind of a mosh podge of pieces. The designer is Pinker and Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. No, Peeker and Pumpkin Quilting, I believe. Anyway, so Melissa is her name. She puts out different patterns. And so what I did was last year, I think it was last year, she created an autumn sampler, and I'm going to show you the layout. So she created, there was a layout, and then every single day she created a pattern to go in each one of these 9 blocks. And so I have been a fan of hers for a long time. She makes these beautiful stitching. There's never a cover sheet to show you, but just the patterns, and then she gives them to you for free. And it's so sweet of her to do that. So I am gonna do the topper like she has started here. But what I did is I went through all the designs that I had of hers, my favorite ones, which were different sunflower and crow patterns, and I picked out the ones that I would like to put into the sampler and then make the sampler all of that. So I didn't get very far when I planned it out, but I've been working on it. So I've got the main one. So here is the main one, it's the sunflower. I think it's the sunflower house. Let's see. This one is called the Old Crow Salt Box. So here's the crows, and then there's sunflowers here that I stitched, the salt box, and then there's one more coming up over here. So after I get done, what I've done is I pulled out the fabric and I made it wide enough, and so you can see I started stitching on the borders, but I think what I'm going to do is have squares go all the way around it until the top up here. And then that way it'll be a sampler of my 2 favorite things, sunflowers and crows and ravens, and that way it'll be more geared to myself and what I like. And then next up is Meow Block by Hands On Design. I'm stitching this for my daughter. And so what I did was, this was one of them that I was trying to get done, and I failed miserably, but that's okay. I've got time. I'm working on the long side, and here's where I'm at. This one I really put a lot of work in this year, because last year I only had this little orange kitty right here. So this year I've worked all the way past him, all the way to the end. Over here there's a little cat here, and then like another thing, and then the last cat. So I have 2 cats and a little motif on this side. And then what I'll do is I'll work on the top. And my daughter, the reason why I haven't stitched this one, okay, is because, let me see, right here, it's a black and white tuxedo cat. But we have an orange tabby who looks like this one, and we have a gray tabby, so this would be like Patrick and Tucker, and then I have my Maine Coon, and she's black. So I'm gonna make the cat here and here all black. And then on the top, when I do their faces, I will change that black tuxedo cat to an all black cat too. And then what I decided I would do is on the bottom, there's no charting for it. So on the bottom, I'm gonna stitch paw prints, and next to each paw print, I'm gonna put Patrick, Tucker, and Raven on there for my daughter, because it's gonna be hers. And those are our 3 cats. And so that'll be a nice little memory for her. And then next up, I'm working on the Brenda Gervais summer school lessons. I've already completed lesson 1 and FFO'd that. If you've been following me, I did share that earlier in 2023. But I've moved on to lesson 2, and I haven't done much on it. But here's lesson 2. There's the little woman and the little man. So I started the little woman's, and I just got her border. I'm stitching it over 1. Am I showing you right? Oh, that's the back, sorry. I'm stitching it over 1 on 25 count. And I've decided recently that I really like stitching 1/1 on 25 count. It's a lot of fun, and I like how cute and little the projects come out. All right, so this one is called My Heart is Fed. This is from a Patreon piece from Teresa Kogut. This is the piece. And I picked this one and started it at StitchCon as a memory piece. And I'm going to take out Teresa Kogut's initials and put StitchCon 2023, since that was the StitchCon I went to. And I'm using, this is a bag from my friend Tracy. She made it for me, which was really sweet of her. She's the OG Stitcher. If you did not know her, she makes bags. I think she sells them on Instagram, so you can check her Instagram and see if she has any for sale. But here is the part that I stitched while at StitchCon. I have not picked it up since then, so I do need to get some work into it. But I did the 2 spools, one of the skeins of thread, and then started the border, and then started the little girl's dress. So I do need to get back to that. But I really do like it. It's super cute, and I thought it would be a nice way to commemorate my visit to StitchCon. Okay, next up. This is a bag from my sweet friend Michelle. She made it. My favorite color is green, and so she made me a green bag and then used, Blackbird fabric for the top, since I really like that. And then this one, and the inside has Blackbird fabric too, look. Isn't it beautiful? So lucky to have such a talented friend. This one holds my Maria Selby Humphrey Blackbird design. Let me pull the book out. And this is the book, and I'm doing the full sampler. And this one I'm working on, I got the entire top of the sampler finished. It's up here, so it's going to be pretty good size when I get done. I've started on the letters. And the letters actually go quite fast, so I'm looking forward to getting back to this project to work on it. I really like it. And once completed, I can say I finished a Blackbird sampler, the whole thing, because I have stitched Blackbird pieces before, but I've only done parts of them. So this will be a full sampler that I will have completed. And then this was a stitch along with Teresa Kogut on Patreon. If you are a tier 4, which I am, she does stitch alongs, and we've done 2 so far, and this is the second one, and there's going to be another one starting up, I want to say around the 15th. So if you're not a Patreon, or if you are and not a tier 4, you want to join soon if you'd like to join the next stitch along. And so right now I am stitching it on, Cedar River linens, and it's in the color Overcast. And this is the stitch along. It's completed. I'm just not done. I didn't stay caught up on this one. It's called A Simple Life. And I'll show you where I'm at. And I am right here. So I still have the complete bottom to do, just a little bit left on this side, but the full bottom part I haven't done yet. So I've got a little bit of ways to go on this one. I meant to keep up, like most sales, I'm pretty good about keeping up with them for the most part, but when this one got going, I started getting busy at work and found myself model stitching a lot more frequently, and so a lot of my things got put on hold, and I think that's why I didn't keep up with that one. And then next up, Oh, this one, I've worked on this one recently. This one, I'm working on this needle roll. This is by the Sweetheart Tree. It's called the Tiny Acorns. And I am doing this piece right here. And this was from 2 years ago. I had wanted to challenge myself to stitch some needleworkers projects that every needleworker should attempt to have completed at least one, in my opinion. And so I thought, you know what, I never did a needle roll, so I'm gonna try. So my friend Melissa had gone to a retreat and found this kit, and it came with all of those designs and all the stuff to make all of them. Well, I'm not going to, so I just want to do the needle roll. So the first time I got it out, I stitched just the acorn and the leaves, but none of the specialty stitches, which is like the satin stitch. And then the rest of it, then they had some black work, and there was some specialty stitches for this chain. And now all I have left to do is there's a couple of rows of specialty stitches going like that, like a band sampler. And then there's a couple of pulled threads where the ribbon's gonna go to make the ties. And then just beading. There's a lot of beads on this piece. But I can see me getting this one done this year. When I got it out, it was so fun I couldn't put it down, so the whole evening I completed that entire motif all the way around and back stitched the acorn and leaves because I had so much fun working on it. All right, next up, this is another block by Hands On Design. It's the 17th. And in December, I was trying to get a lot of my WIPs down. Plus, I wanted to join WIP Warriors. Are you joining WIP Warriors this year? I wanted to join them to see if I can get my WIPs done, but they had a really cool rule that I really, really liked. And it was that in order for a project to be a WIP, it needed at least 200 stitches. And I know you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot. I just do one strand, or I put in 100 stitches. But I thought, how fun if I stuck to the rule of you only put in 200 stitches before you call it a WIP. And so I couldn't share it on Flosstube until then that would take away minutes that I waste on just showing you a small start of a few stitches, and that's it. So in order to get ready for WIP Warriors and count all of my WIPs in WIP Warriors, I needed to put 200 stitches in. So when I got this out, I just had this one clover here and these little clovers here. So I went ahead and finished and got up so it would have 200 stitches. So now I'm ready to roll on that. I don't know if I'll get it done in time for St. Patrick's Day this year, but I do want to get it finished by the end of the year, 2024. And then next up, here's another one of those beautiful Michelle bags. Isn't it pretty? This one is, I wonder how many of you are out there with this one. This one cracks me up. Okay, so this one I started when it came out, so it's been a while. And then I bought all of the ones that go along with it. And what I'm talking about is Home is Where the Wreath Is. So I purchased this, and my friend PJ and I started about the same time. And she's stitching hers in blue, and I wanted to stitch with white. So this is the one that I started using the white sulky thread just to try it out, and I really like it, especially because it's one strand, and on black it goes really fast. However, it really goes fast if you actually work on it. So, and I have to say, I did not work on it in 2023. I took it on the plane to go to StitchCon, and my plan was to work on it. For some reason, I didn't get any stitches in there. I think I was too nervous. We had a lot of turbulence, and I get nervous over everything. So, but what I have done so far is I have the H in Home, and I have the O. And what I did on this one for the wreath is I stitched these simultaneously. So I did a strand in the H, then I did a strand in this one I actually used Classic Colorworks in the green, and then a strand in the H, and I kept going. And when I got to just the little white little berries, I used sulky for them. And by the time I got the H done, the O was done too. So I stitched them together. That seemed like a nice plan. Then I got to the letter M, and that's as far as I've gotten, so that's a shame. So I have all the centers to do, but of course I need to get the M and the E completed before I can do the centers. And I really like that piece because I like that you can keep it up all year long and just change it out every month, which would be great because that's what I do with my tree. But of course you can see I haven't taken Christmas down. Today's the day. I go back to work tomorrow, so we have to get all Christmas down, put up my snowman, get all the kids' stuff together, and get ready to go back to work tomorrow. So today is a busy day. All right, so the next step is I'm doing a stitch along this bag. I want to show you this bag. Nancy from the Bougie Stitchers made me this bag because I'm doing the stitch along with her and Jenny, both of them, and also Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher, and we are doing the Quality Sampler by Plum Street. And so we're all doing it together, and we've all started in different places, and we're all at different points in it. I had been working up the right side from the bottom up, and this is where I'm at. And so my goal was to get, this is a beast. This flag is a beast of stitches. So what I did was I thought, I'll go up, I'll do this part. I want to keep going till I get to the eagle, and then I'll stitch the eagle, and then I want to start moving this way because the opposite side has the same urn and strawberries going up, and then the other side of the flag, and of course the flag is carried over across the entire piece. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go like this. But I have to get to the top of the eagle first. I just thought that would be fun. I really like this pattern. It's pretty as you're putting the colors together. Like when I think of the colors individually, I think, oh, that's not a very pretty red. But then when you put them in there, you see how nicely it works. So I really do like this pattern, and I hope to finish this year along with them. So far, none of us has finished it, so I don't feel behind. I'm very grateful for that. All right, this one, I only worked on one part of it this year, and then I put it away and didn't get back to it, and it's a really big piece. This piece is 360 by 190. That's a huge, probably my largest one. I think it's even bigger than the Blackbird design. But this one is called Spring 2018 by Sarah. And when I first got it, I was so excited about it because I love all the little details in the village. And so I had just completed the little bunny motif. And I think I had done that year when I got it. I got it in the springtime, and I believe I got this in 2022. And I got it, I was super excited to work on it during springtime, so I got the bunnies done. And then when spring was ending, or Easter was ending, I put it away, hoping to get it out later, and I didn't. And then last year, it came up as a project to work on. And so when I got it out, I was able to get the sun and all the birds flying, the geese flying, and then this whole piece right here from the village. And I was really proud of myself because it was a lot of stitches, and I think it's so pretty. So I just got to keep going. And I think what I'm going to do when this one comes out is make it a goal to do the whole motif of that house in that area before putting it away. And I think if I do that, going by motifs, and I'll show you on the pattern. So here's the section I did. I did this entire section. So I'm not sure if I'll move down or if I'll just move over, but I think if I can take them by a whole section and just do a few sections at a time, each time I stitch it, I think I'll get more done that way. I really do like it. The pattern's a little bit difficult to read. Some of the symbols are too close together as far as the symbols that were used. So that's a struggle. I did find myself frogging out a lot on that one because of that. But the overall picture is beautiful, and I really do want to finish it. Now this one I'm hoping I'll get done this month. What it is it's the Polar Plunge series by Hands On Design. And I have all of them, including the charity piece for Special Olympics. So here they are. I haven't stitched this one yet. I have not stitched this one yet. I did stitch this one already, and I'll show you. I stitched this one already, and I've stitched this one already. I have not stitched the charity one yet. So I've got half finished, 3 done, 3 to go. And I really wanted to have it done before this month because I wanted to be able to hang it on my mantle for the month of January. But I don't think that I'll have it done. I just don't think I'll have it done to display this month. But if I get it done, and then when I pack up my January, it's done and I can pack it up, then I'll be able to put it on display next year. And I'm totally fine with that because I think it'll be beautiful hanging from my mantle. So here's Wally the Walrus. I'm stitching this on a piece of fabric that I dyed myself. It's 28 count Monaco, and I dyed it with Evening Blue. And then here are the penguins and the polar bear. I did him first because polar bears are my favorite. So I have 3 out of 6 complete, and I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to keep working on them. I'm going to pull them out. And when I do pull them out, it takes me about 2 days to stitch them, or 2 evenings. So I'm hoping to get them done in the next couple weeks. All right, next up, I am stitching Sunnyside Sampler by the Drawn Thread. I started this one last year when my friend PJ came home from Stitch West. I guess a lot of the ladies, I guess not this last year, the year before, a lot of the ladies were going to stitch it and then finish it by 2023's Stitch West retreat, and that retreat they went and picked a new project. So PJ and I were going to do this one and join in, but she decided when we went and looked at all the colors, we decided I switched them into DMC. And when we looked at the list to convert them, it was quite a task to convert them. And I think that's what overwhelmed how many threads there were needed for it. Overwhelmed PJ because she said, I'm not doing it. So I'm going solo on it. And here is my progress so far. I really did enjoy this one. I tried to do, like, every time I picked it up, do a house and then move on from there. So I really do like this one. Excuse me while I pick up my bag. It fell on the floor. All right. So there's that one. That one's very pretty. I'm stitching it on 14 count Ada, and which is totally fine for that project, except it does have some 1/1 stitching. So when you stitch 1/1 on Ada, you just need to make sure that you have a sharp needle so that you can poke through the fabric to make the stitches. And you have to go slow, because if you go slow, then you can make sure your stitches are nice and even. And that's what I've been doing. And it looks just as beautiful as if you did it over linen. So the next one that I have is this piece. It's called Best Wishes by Mary Engelbright. When I picked this one up, it was because I was working on a different books that I own, so I can get some use out of the patterns that I have in books. Otherwise, they just sit on a shelf and never get used. And this one reminded me of my daughters. So when my daughters were little, they're a set of twins, but they're fraternal twins. And when they were little, one of their favorite things to do is when we'd go for a walk, they would run to people's yards and pull the dandelions, and we called them wishing flowers, and they'd make wishes. And so that's what these little girls are doing in the picture. And so what I thought I would do is, as I stitch it, I'm going to transform one to look like my daughter Myrsa and one to look like my daughter Cassandra. So when I get to their hair color, that'll change. And I think I might change their clothing colors too, because at that time, Marissa was obsessed with wearing pinks, and Cassandra wore purple. And so I'll probably change their clothing to that. I haven't gotten far. I forgot, after not stitching pieces with lots of back stitch in a long time, that this confetti stitching and back stitching takes a really long time to get things done. So I'm working on the bottom. It's supposed to say make a wish, but you can, if you can look closely, you can see there's a lot of color changes in each flower, so it takes a really long time. And I think this one is one of those pieces that I kind of have to be in the mood for that. Some days, long days at work, then when I come home, I really don't want to switch. I just want to stitch a small portion, change a color, stitch a small portion. But these are like every 3 stitches is a different color. And so I think that's why I didn't get as much progress on it as I would have liked to. All right, next up, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shake you. I'm trying to put all of these projects out. There's little space by my feet and the lights, so I apologize. This one is Santa Stops Here by Brenda. And I was stitching out my friend Gina and my friend Arnett and my friend Sarah. All of us are stitching it. So far, Gina's finished and framed. Arnett's finished and ready to be framed. And Sarah and I think, are the only ones left working on it. I'm stitching mine on Mint Splash because I like that it looks like snow. And here's my progress. So it will end, oops, right there is the end of the length, and this is the height. So I finished this side except for the little reindeer that are up here. And then I've stitched this 1/4 of the building and the house and the windows. So I still have the other 1/4 up here and then the other 1/2 over here to do for the house. And right here in the middle is the big wreath. And I think I'm going to stitch that with beads and then put a really nice skinny ribbon at the top of the, like they did here. You could see that they did a little ribbon for the bow. So I'm gonna do that. And I think I'm gonna stitch my my berries on the wreath in red and use red beads for that. But we'll see when I get to it. I could change my mind and leave them white. We'll see. All right, next up is, now this one was to commemorate a retreat, and it was one of our SoCal Stitchers retreats. So this one is already over a year old because our SoCal Stitchers retreats in September. And I went this last September and started a different project, and this one's still not done. So we need to get busy on it, but I still love it. Every time I get it out, I love it. And it is Autumn Love by Lori Holt. I did do some floss conversions. I didn't do the blues. I switched them for 2 greens. So the light and the dark blues got switched out. And here is my progress. And here we go. So I've got a lot of work on it done. I need to continue to finish the border and then I can begin the house. I do, when I get this out, I do try to complete 1 full block each time I get it out. And then what I've been finding is that if I get to the end of the border, then I'll start the next with the whatever strand I have left to finish the border on the next one. That way it kind of gets done along the way instead of all having to do it all at once. But it does stitch fast when you work on it. I just need to put more days in. Did you think about your planning for next year? I've spent a lot of time thinking about it because one of the things that I discovered in the way I did things last year, which I had done a 2-day rotation, is that a lot of my projects were large like this one. And when you're working and doing everything as being a mom and all the things that you have to do on your day-to-day, if you only get in an hour or 2 in the evening to stitch because you're off working and doing your daily activities, you don't really get much progress on your pieces, especially if they're large, which is why I realized after this year, what I noticed is two things. One, I didn't get enough progress done to complete anything that I put in those 2-day rotations if they were large. And the second thing is that whatever was in my rotation, because I didn't get much progress done on it, I didn't get to replace it with another project. So several of my projects sat all this last year and I didn't work on them. And so I felt kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't find a way to incorporate them, so that even if I don't complete them, I'm fine with not completing them. But finding a way to work on them sometime during the year is something that I'd like to make as a thing for this year. So this one is the Prairie Schooler. It's called Harvest Time. There's 3 patterns in this design, and I've chosen to do this autumn scene. And this one is like a project that I would take on a vacation or in the car road somewhere, because it's on Aida and I could stitch on Aida. And if it's on 14 count Aida, I can stitch on it in my car without a magnifying or a lamp. So here is where I'm at. Trying to get 200 stitches in, because originally when I picked it up, I had just a little bit of the border here, and then I had started this tree. And then I was like, well, that's not 200 stitches, so if I want to use it in WIP Warriors, I need to put 200 stitches in. Well, obviously this is more than 200 stitches, but once I got going on that house, then it was, oh, I should just finish the house. Finish the house, Sandy, finish the house. So I did, and I like how it turned out. It's funny, if I hold it back here, so when I was stitching this house, this part, okay, as you can see from a distance, it looks 3-dimensional, like it's sticking out. But when I was stitching it was up close to me, it looked flat, and then I thought, oh, I don't know if I like the way that looks. But I think one of the things sometimes we need to do is prop our project up or have someone else hold it and stand back, because then when you stand back, you see, oh, I get what they were trying to do. I see it now. And then that saves you from trying to fix it or change it when it was right to begin with. All right, next up, I have, now this one sadly was one of the ones I didn't work on all year. So in my plans on my next video, I'll be able to explain how I plan to make sure every single one of these get worked on every single month. So here is, this one is by Silver Creek Samplers. It's called When Life is Done. And I did this one in honor of my sister-in-law. We lost her to breast cancer, and she was one of the sister-in-laws that I was the closest with out of my husband's family. I don't have a sister, I have a little brother. And my little brother and I's relationship, we don't live close by each other. And so our relationship is on my birthday and his birthday, Christmas. And once in a while, some other time at a holiday during the year, you'll get a phone call or a text message that wishes you happy birthday or Merry Christmas, and I love you, and that's it. So I don't get to spend a lot of time with him, and so this particular sister-in-law I was really close with. As much as I could say she'd be just like a regular sister to me if I knew what that meant. And we lost her, so I wanted to stitch something in her honor, and I started, and I'm gonna go put in the information of her name and her birth and death dates, and then stitch along going up. When I first started this, because we've lost her, it's been a couple years now, and when we lost her, I started it, but then I guess the grief was too much, because every time I got it out, I felt really sad, and so that I didn't want to work on it, and I put it away. And then, like I said, last year I tried a different routine, and I didn't get to work on it, not at all. So I'd like to get some more stitches in on that too, because I would like to frame it with a picture of her and I together in next to it. So hopefully I'll get that worked on, at least worked on this year. I don't know about being finished, but worked on. The next one I started is Snow Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this one was a nice gift I had mentioned that I wanted to stitch it because I saw Missy and Kathy from Two Needles Pulling Thread working on it, and I asked them what fabric were they working on because I thought I would like to stitch it. And Missy told me, and then she said, well, I have a whole extra set here. If you'd like it, I'll just send it to you, because I was gonna order mine. I just wanted to know what fabric so I could order the fabric at the same time. And then she sent it to me. So I have all of the patterns. Thank you, Missy, for that. And I had a piece of cornflower blue that I ended up using. And so here is my progress so far. I started in the middle and I stitched the centerpiece, and then I came over and stitched the sleds and skates shop. Yeah, sleds and skates. And then I'm up here at the top. I think this is the snowball stand. I think I went up because the other house on the opposite side of the center looks very similar to that house, and I wanted to have a break between the houses, so that's why I went up to the snowman. And I'll come back down, but I've been enjoying that one. That one's fun to get out and stitch on. Okay, next. Oh, I found this one in a pile. It's funny because I forgot that I had it, and then when I was doing some cleaning and going through things, I found that it was incomplete. One thing I've learned about myself is I mean to do series and complete them, but I'll never do them consecutively. It takes me a long time to complete a series. So this series is the Little House Needleworks ABC Samplers. And so each individual piece has part of the alphabet on it. And so I have completed ABC and DE and FGH and IJK LMN and OPQ. And the thing about these is when I started them, the pattern does not have a DMC conversion like most of their patterns do. So it's all done in Classic Colorworks. So I would go online and hunt for a conversion and stitch it, because I'm just stitching it in DMC. So I don't know why I hadn't finished it, because you see I'm not very far from being complete. So I have RST in here ready to go, and I'll be working on that, and then I'll just keep going until I finish. So hopefully this year this set will finally be done and I can say I have a complete series. All right, there's just a couple more. The next one is Winter Solstice. Now this was a brand new start in December. I wanted to do Winter Solstice by Hands On Design last year, 2022, but I had went to order it online when I saw Kathy talking about it on one of her videos, because I was watching all the past videos she had, and I saw her talk about it. This is the pattern. And I was like, oh, I really like that. I want to do that on Winter Solstice. And it comes with the little wool felt for the little half circles on the front. So I ordered it, but it was back ordered because it was almost Winter Solstice. You know how that goes. We see something at Christmas time and we go on to order it, and it's back ordered because everybody else is wanting to order it. So I got it, and then I put it in my stuff. And then I remembered that in November to pull it out because I wanted to do it on Winter Solstice Day. And so I did. And then keeping in mind that I wanted to have 200 stitches in my project to put on WIP weighers, I went ahead and completed it. So, well, not the whole thing. So when I started it, I had done just on Winter Solstice, I did just one half of the building, and I did this bottom part of the border. So then to get 200 stitches in, I decided I'm going to go ahead and finish the house and finish the star and the moon and the smoke. So now all I have left is there's a border like this all the way around. There's a piece all the way around. And then over here, this one says Solitude. So I'm going to finish that, and then I'll finish this, fully finish this. And then next year for winter solstice, I will do the other one. And the other one says Serenity. So I'll make one this year. And the reason why is because look at them. They're like the reverse of the same building is what it looks like to me. And so I know that I wouldn't want to keep stitching on it for this year. So I'll finish this one and FFO it. And then next year for winter solstice, I'll take out that pattern again and make the next one. So eventually I'll have both of them. All right, next up is advice from a sunflower. And this says, rise and shine and hold your head high. And I love this so much. There's a spot in my house that when I come into the room, I know that if I hung it there, it would be looking at me every day when I got home from work. And it would be a good reminder every time I came into the room. So, and this is by Annie B's Folk Art. And here is my progress. When I took it out in December, I only had high done. That's it, just this little part. So I came in, I finished all these little motifs on the side, and then I went up and made the beginning of the stems for the sunflowers, and then I added head. So my goal is that each time I get it out, I would like to get another word done until the words are complete, and then continue on until I finish. I really like that one a lot, so hopefully I can get it finished. All right, so next up, here's another bag made by my friend Tracy. She made me this one. She made the red bag because I told her I love red and green, and so she made the red bag first, and she knows I love sunflowers. So she said after she made the red bag, she found this fabric and said, oh, I've got to make that. So she's such a sweet friend. She made it, and she knew that sunflowers are my favorite. And then she also makes these little cute little tags for her bags when she makes them. So I was very grateful. What a nice surprise. And this one is another one that did not get worked on last year. It just didn't, I didn't finish anything to get this into my rotation. And this one is the Willow Tree Sampler by Carriage House Samplings. I love this willow tree so very much. And I don't have a lot of progress on it because, as I said, I didn't get it out this year. So I have 2 of the crows and one leg of the tree, or one branch. And that's it. So hopefully this year I'll get more on it. If you've been following me, you know that last year I stitched a lot of different Carriage House samplings by Kathy Barrick. It just worked out that there was a lot of her designs in my WIPs last year, and all but this one are finished now, so I feel good about that. All right, and I have 2 more to share with you. This one is another one that I did not work on last year at all, and this is Blackbird's Away We Ride. I know a lot of people were working on a salve for this one, as I watched on Instagram as everybody was getting theirs done, but I didn't get mine out because I just was working on other ones. So this one, the one thing I love about this pattern so very much, besides the ravens, is I like the border. I just think the border's gorgeous. So that's as far as I got, one little part of the border, and that's it. When we went to SoCal's Stitchers Retreat this year, I took it with me hoping to get some done, but then I was working on a salve with somebody, so then I got that out, and then I was talking a lot, and you know how retreats go. You go there and you talk and socialize, and you hardly get any stitching done. That's pretty much how that one went. And then this is my last one to share with you today, and this one also did not get work on it. And it is Nevermore by Leela Studios. Not this year, but the year prior, for a 12 by 12. is when I had started it, and then I got it out. And when I did the 12 by 12, I literally got like this little piece right here done. That was it. And so then later in that year, I went ahead and said, okay, you've got to get at least this color band done. So I worked on that band the rest of the year, and I got almost done. I have a little bit left right here, and then this band is finished, and I can move up. But I didn't get rotate it through, and you can see that here's that band, and then there's another colored band right here. So I would like to get up so I can work on the raven, because I know when I get to the raven, I won't want to put it down. So we'll see. But those are my WIPs. I have lots of plans of how to tackle them this year. Hopefully I'll be successful. I have things to share in my next video. I'm going to share my 12 by 12, how I did on that. I do have some finishes to share with you, and I will have my plans for 2024 with you. And I hope to come back to you this week. I am going back to work, so it's possible it might not be until the weekend, but I do want to try to get back to you this week. But that's my WIPs that I'm hoping to tackle this year, along with adding some new ones, of course. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. And thanks for coming and watching my channel. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. Bye.